Virgo. Your name was written in a prophecy they tried to erase, a secret scroll buried beneath the Vatican in 1222. It spoke of a virgin soul, born in silence, shaped in shadow, destined to bring divine truth to a fallen world. The dark powers called it the Luciferian threat. But they were never afraid of evil. They were afraid of your light, you. This prophecy was hidden for 800 years because it described someone like you, the one who sees through lies, the one who purifies the world without needing to shout. In 2025, the prophecy returns, and your soul remembers, because it was always about you, Virgo. In the year 1222, deep in the hills of northern Italy, a monk vanished from his order. He had seen something the church demanded he forget, but instead he wrote, by candlelight, in secret, on parchment not meant to survive. He called it the Testament of the Virgin Soul. Inside he described a being, not royal, not wealthy, not loud, but born under the sign of Mercury. He called her the Silent Fire, a child born into chaos, marked by purity, haunted by visions, yet destined to expose the illusions of false prophets, corrupted kings and crumbling empires. The prophecy claimed this soul would appear 8 centuries later, in a time when lies would wear robes and truth would be labelled rebellion. The church read the manuscript, and they were terrified, not because it was evil, but because it was accurate, because it described a soul so precise, so piercing, that it could dismantle centuries of deception, not with swords, but with sacred logic, with truth, with purity. They stamped the manuscript with a forbidden seal, Luciferian. But here's what they won't tell you. Luciferian didn't mean demonic, it meant illuminating, dangerous light, uncontrollable awareness. And Virgo, that was you. The prophecy went underground, locked in Vatican vaults, erased from records, until now. Because the stars have returned to the same alignment, and the prophecy is waking up again. The year 2025, and the soul it spoke of is already here, already remembering, already rising. Virgo, the world won't announce your arrival. It will pretend you're not a threat, but the shadows remember you. The systems feel your presence, and the false light is beginning to flicker, because the virgin soul is awakening, and the 800-year silence is over. Virgo, you were never born to fit in. You were born to filter out the false. Where others see noise, you see patterns. Where others chase power, you seek truth. That's your weapon. Not rage, not chaos, but purification. You dismantle illusions with a glance. You feel when something's off, even when no one else does. You notice the lie behind the smile, the wound behind the ego, the poison hiding in good vibes only. And that's what dark forces fear, because their power depends on confusion, on ego, on manipulation. But Virgo brings order, clarity, truth, quietly, powerfully, without asking for permission. They tried to convince you your standards were too high, that your boundaries were cold, that your silence meant weakness, but silence is your shield, and discernment is your sword. While the world chases followers and fame, you're guided by something deeper, sacred inner knowing. You don't just read books, you read energy. You feel when the soul is off track, and you don't need loud voices to confirm what your intuition already whispered. That's the fear, because you're not easy to program. You question, you correct, you purify. The Luciferian energy they warned the world about? It was never about evil. It was about hidden knowledge, suppressed light, divine codes buried under dogma, fear, and silence. And Virgo, you are the key. You were born with a map in your mind to unlock what they buried, to decode the illusion, to remember what others forgot. You don't need to scream. Your presence alone disturbs the system, because your soul can't be bought, it can't be controlled, and most of all, it can't be fooled. That is why they fear you. not because you are dark, but because your light exposes theirs. Virgo, you've felt it your whole life, haven't you? That quiet sense that you were different, not better, not superior, just different, like your soul was built for something sacred, but placed in a world that didn't know what to do with it. Here are the signs you may be part of this ancient Virgo soul lineage, the very one the prophecy spoke of. One you've always felt watched, not just by people, but by something invisible, like the universe itself was observing you. You enter a room and energy shifts. People get nervous around you, even if you say nothing. Why? Because your presence reflects them. You don't even need to speak. Your energy calls out what's false. 2. You question everything. Since childhood, you've challenged the system. School felt too rigid. Religion felt incomplete. Authority felt like a mask. You couldn't explain why, but you knew something isn't right. While others accepted, you dissected. While others obeyed, you observed. 3. You often feel too pure for this world, not in an arrogant way, in a painful way. You feel things deeply. You want to fix things, heal people, clean the mess others ignore, but this purity is your curse and your gift. Because in a world addicted to chaos, your need for alignment becomes misunderstood. You've probably been told you're too sensitive. You think too much. You need to relax. But your soul wasn't built to relax in a broken system. It was built to restructure it. You are both highly spiritual and highly skeptical. You believe in energy, signs, karma, and the soul, but you also question every teacher, every trend, every so-called guru. You need truth that feels true, not just sounds nice. This is rare. Most people are either blind followers or cold skeptics. But Virgo, you balance both. You can walk in the heavens and question the clouds. That's the Virgo code, the divine mixture of logic and light. You aren't just intuitive, you're analytical. You don't just feel energy, you understand it. You break spells with observation. You see what others miss. You cleanse what others tolerate. And this is exactly why you were chosen. Because only a soul like yours could navigate the darkness. Without becoming it, Virgo, you've been carrying a burden that was never yours. A weight placed on your back not because of who you are, but because of what you awaken in others. They've called you cold, too serious, too critical, too intense, but none of it was truth. It was projection. Because when people stood in your energy, they saw themselves too clearly, and instead of healing their wounds, they blamed you for exposing them. You became the mirror. And not everyone wants to see what the mirror reflects. From ancient times to now, Virgo souls have been misunderstood and silenced. In medieval Europe, you would have been labelled a heretic. Or worse, a possessed woman, a rebellious man, a threat to order. Why? Because your clarity was dangerous. Because you didn't just question power, you dissected it. And they feared what would happen if others listened to you. So they tried to suppress you, not with chains, but with doubt. They made you feel isolated, like no one got you, like your standards were a problem, like your energy was too much. They made you question your worth. You walked into rooms and felt everything, the tension, the lies, the pain. But when you spoke up, you were told to be quiet, to not make a big deal. You were gaslit by partners who twisted your loyalty, by bosses who used your work ethic but dismissed your voice, even by spiritual teachers who told you to surrender when your soul said, "Speak up." They taught you to shrink, to apologize for your intuition, to second-guess the messages your soul knew were true. And after a while, maybe, you did shrink. You stayed silent to keep the peace. You dulled your gifts to feel accepted. You tried to be what they needed, while burying what you really were. But Virgo, that's exactly what they wanted. Because if you ever remembered your role, if you ever owned your truth without guilt, you would become unstoppable. They fear the Virgo who no longer doubts herself, the Virgo who speaks and doesn't apologize, the Virgo who chooses her energy over others' expectations. That's the version they worked so hard to silence, because she can't be manipulated, she can't be seduced by false praise, and she won't play the role of saviour anymore. Look back on your life. How many times did you dim your light to make others comfortable? How many times did you sense the truth, but held your tongue because you didn't want to be too much? How many times did your inner voice whisper, "This isn't right," only for someone else to call you dramatic? That wasn't random. That was programming from the world, from relationships, from the shadows. Because the moment Virgo reclaims her voice, the systems shake, the illusions crack, and the soul prophecy begins to activate. But here's the truth: they never silenced your soul. They just distracted it. They confused it. They convinced it to be small. But your silence was never weakness. It was storage. It was sacred power in waiting. And now it's time to release it. Because your energy was never meant to be tamed. It was meant to be witnessed. The world didn't reject you because you were wrong. It rejected you because you were right too early. But 2025 is not too early. It's right on time. And you, Virgo, are finally being seen. Virgo, everything they tried to bury is rising. Everything they tried to silence is speaking. Everything they tried to delay is now divine timing. 2025 isn't just another year. It's the completion of an 800-year loop, a cosmic circle started in 1222, now returning to its origin. And you're the activator. The prophecy was never about a single event. It was about a soul frequency waking up in a new era. Your frequency. Here's what unlocks for Virgo in 2025, and why the dark forces are terrified. Number 1, the Mercury mind awakens. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, the planet of intelligence, precision, and truth. In 2025, your mental clarity sharpens like never before. You'll receive divine downloads, ideas that come out of nowhere, visions, insights, prophetic dreams. Not wild or emotional, but exact, surgical, undeniable. You'll speak and others will pause, not because you're loud, but because you're right. It's the return of sacred logic, a mind not just educated, but encoded. You'll be able to see the blueprint behind people's patterns, lies behind language, and systems behind confusion. This is the gift of Mercury, and it's yours to claim. 2. The purifier role activates. You are not here to carry everyone. You are here to cleanse the path for the right ones. In 2025, you will be called to remove false mentors who secretly feed on your light friends who feel like family but drain your nervous system. Lovers who love your glow but fear your growth. Virgo, this is your spiritual detox. You are stepping into a new vibration. And everything that can't meet it must fall away, and it will, with or without your permission. This is your soul's immune system waking up, and it no longer tolerates the energy that made you sick. You don't have to fight. You only need to allow endings, allow clarity, allow truth to clear your path, because you're no longer here to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Number 3, your soul leadership emerges. This is not about fame. This is not about followers. This is about frequency. You will begin to lead with your energy. Just walking into a room will shift the vibration. Just speaking your truth, calmly, clearly, will inspire healing in others. This is leadership through alignment, not ego, not status, but soul integrity. You will find yourself guiding others, not through force but through presence, because your life will become your message, your decisions, your boundaries, your peace. They will speak louder than anything you say. That is the Virgo way. You don't need to prove, you just become, and others feel it. Between June and September 2025, something stirs. You may feel pulled to change your career. You may walk away from long-held relationships. You may move, shift, reinvent completely, because your destiny is waking up, not outside you, but within you. This is when your soul's compass reactivates, and the path that once felt cloudy becomes crystal clear. You'll know, this is where I'm meant to be. This is who I'm becoming. This is why I had to go through all of it. All the silence, all the loneliness, all the shadow. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Virgo 2025 is not asking you to change the world. It's asking you to return to your original design, to remember who you were before the world taught you to doubt it. And when you do, the prophecy isn't just fulfilled, it becomes you, Virgo. Before your gifts can fully awaken, before your leadership can be felt, before your prophecy is fulfilled, you will be tested, not by enemies, not by dramatic chaos, but by the quiet battles that happen inside your soul. This final test won't be obvious. It will be subtle, personal, sacred, and only you will know you're in it. 1. Can you let go of needing to be understood? You've spent your whole life explaining yourself, trying to clarify your intentions, prove your heart, fix the misunderstandings. You wanted peace. You wanted to be seen for who you really are. But Virgo, here's the truth. Not everyone can see you, not because you're invisible, but because they've chosen blindness. The test is, can you walk your path even when others don't get it? Can you move forward without shrinking for approval? You were not meant to be understood by the masses. You were meant to be remembered by history. 2. Can you speak your truth without rescuing others? You have a healer's heart. You want to help, to fix, to save. But some souls are not ready. Some people will cling to your energy, but reject your message. They want your light, but not your truth. And you must learn you are not here to save everyone. You are here to stand in truth. That's it. That's enough. Can you speak your truth, even if it causes discomfort, even if they walk away, even if you don't get to fix it? Your power is not in rescuing, it's in revealing. You don't owe anyone your energy just because they're in pain. That's the trap, that's the test. 3. Can you trust your soul, even when no one claps? The most powerful shifts happen in silence. There won't be applause, there won't be approval. You won't get a medal for walking away from what no longer serves you. You won't get instant validation for choosing alignment, but your soul will know, and that has to be enough. The question is, can you keep going? Even when the world is quiet, even when no one notices your transformation? Because Virgo, your soul is not performing, it's evolving, and evolution is often unseen, uncelebrated, uncomfortable. This is the final test. It's not a battle outside of you. It's not about proving anything to the world. It's about choosing yourself when it would be easier to abandon yourself. It's about trusting the silence, trusting the isolation, trusting that the loneliness has a purpose. To refine your vibration, to upgrade your soul frequency. Because when Virgo passes this test, the universe doesn't just open doors, it clears entire timelines. You will be tempted to go back, to explain, to soften your truth, to make others comfortable again. Don't, because this time, you're not being tested on what you know, you're being tested on what you choose, and the ones who change history often walk alone first. Walk anyway, speak anyway, shine anyway. Your soul didn't come here for the easy path. It came here for the true one. And Virgo, you're almost there. Virgo, you were never here to blend in. You were never meant to follow. You weren't born for comfort. You were born for clarity. The world taught you to stay quiet, to doubt your power, to soften your insight, but your soul never forgot. Not really, because deep down you always knew. There was a reason you saw so much, felt so much, carried so much. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. And now the preparation is over. 2025 isn't just another page in the calendar, it's a soul portal, a moment in time when the prophecy written in 1222 finds its match in you. It doesn't matter what they called you. Too serious, too sensitive, too intense. You are not too much. You are exactly enough. You were the missing piece all along. Virgo, your legacy won't be your style, your job title, your Instagram bio. It will be your frequency, the way your presence healed chaos, the way your truth disrupted lies, the way your integrity made people remember who they are. You weren't here to be liked, you were sent to be remembered. And this prophecy, it isn't just a story, it's your soul contract. It's what you came back for. The signs are aligning, the old world is crumbling, the gate is open, and you are the proof that it was all real. Comment, I am the Virgo prophecy, like if this message woke something in you. Subscribe for more Virgo soul awakenings. Share this with another Virgo. The prophecy includes them too.